On Wednesday, Israel dropped leaflets urging Palestinians to leave Gaza City ahead of a new offensive. Israel also announced the completion of its operations in the city's Shugaya district, but said it was still pursuing Hamas fighters who were regrouping in other parts of the Gaza Strip. Let's talk about this now with Jordana Miller, the ABC News foreign correspondent, who joins me now live from Jerusalem. Jordana, what more do we know, first of all, about this latest offensive in Gaza City?
Well, we do know that over 200,000 Gazans have been asked to move. It doesn't mean they're all moving, but once again, they're in a very stressful, miserable, really, experience where they're having to take their families and move again west to what is described as Israel describes as the humanitarian zone, though it is the conditions there seem far from really humane. It is intensely packed with people. There are not a lot of basic services, and moving again tens of thousands of people into this area that's already overcrowded. And by the way, through active combat, even though Israel dropped those leaflets yesterday, the combat continued through the night and through today in Gaza City. And it's a dangerous, very dangerous place. Dozens have already been killed. And Israel has pulled out, as you said, from an area called Shajaya, which is a little bit to the northeast. But there's still intense operations going on in central Gaza, in the refugee camps, and in Rafah in the south. We are seeing what some here are describing a kind of late surge in the fighting across the Gaza Strip, as at the same time that those ceasefire talks are happening in Doha, in Qatar, and as momentum is building towards a deal. And those are likely two related phenomena. In other words, Israel seems to be putting more and more military pressure on Hamas as the momentum builds, hoping it'll get Hamas to soften its position. I'm not sure it's going to necessarily work, but it seems to be one of the tactics and what we're seeing.
Now, this, of course, comes as the U.S. has said it is, quote, cautiously optimistic over ceasefire talks. Do you think that that's any closer to actually happening?
I do want to say it's the first time in 6 months that we've heard progress and positive feedback from all sides, including the Israeli side, after this summit in Doha. It doesn't mean that we're going to have a deal tomorrow. It'll probably still take 2 to 3 to 4 weeks to hammer out some of the details, but it's initial progress. The sides are agreeing on most of the framework of this deal, and they're getting into some of the dirty details now. For example, who will be on the list of jailed Palestinians that Israel will agree to release? What will that post war interim government look like in Gaza, right? If it's not Hamas and it's not the Israeli army, what kind of Palestinian leadership will be there? So those details still have to be hammered out. Gaps still remain.
Jordana, thank you for that. Jordana Miller in Jerusalem.
Thanks.